What if I told you that your brain is literally rewiring itself right now as you watch this video? And what if that same incredible power of neuroplasticity could be the key to breaking free from alcohol addiction forever? Stay with me, because what neuroscience has discovered about addiction recovery will completely change how you think about this battle. Here's something that might shock you. Addiction isn't a moral failing. It's not about willpower. It's about three specific brain circuits that get hijacked, and the amazing news: these same circuits can be rewired back to health. But first, let me paint you a picture. Imagine Sarah, a successful marketing executive who found herself drinking a bottle of wine every night. She tried quitting countless times, always ending up back where she started. Sound familiar? What Sarah didn't know, what most people don't know, is that her brain had essentially been reprogrammed. And the key to her recovery wasn't just in her mind, it was in understanding exactly what alcohol had done to her neural circuitry. So what exactly happens in your brain when alcohol takes control? Think of it like this. Addiction hijacks three main brain systems, creating what scientists call the three-stage addiction cycle. Stage 1, the reward hijack. Every time you drink, alcohol floods your mesolimbic dopamine system. That's the pathway running from your ventral tegmental area to your nucleus accumbens. Sounds complicated? Think of it as your brain's reward highway. Alcohol doesn't just travel this highway, it rebuilds it, making everything else in life seem less rewarding by comparison. Stage 2, the stress amplifier. Here's where it gets really insidious. During withdrawal, your extended amygdala, your brain's alarm system, goes haywire. It's like having a smoke detector that screams at the slightest hint of burnt toast. Stress-related neurotransmitters like corticotropin-releasing factor flood your system, creating that crushing anxiety and dysphoria that makes you reach for a drink just to feel normal again. Stage 3, the craving controller. Finally, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, starts losing its grip. It's like trying to drive a car with faulty brakes while your brain screams, "I need alcohol," louder than any rational thought. But here's the incredible part. And this is where Sarah's story gets interesting. Remember Sarah? After years of failed attempts, she discovered something revolutionary. Her brain, despite all the damage, still had an incredible superpower: neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? Simply put, it's your brain's ability to rewire itself. And here's what happens during recovery that will blow your mind: the prefrontal comeback. Within weeks of abstinence, Sarah's prefrontal cortex began to heal. Gray matter volume started increasing, cortical thickness improved, and suddenly those executive functions, decision-making, impulse control, emotional regulation, started coming back online. It's like watching a computer slowly boot up after a crash. The reward system reset. Even more amazing, her dopamine receptors began to normalize. That devastating reward deficiency that made everything seem gray and joyless. It started lifting. Natural pleasures, a sunset, a good meal, a friend's laughter, began to feel rewarding again. The stress system rebalance. Most importantly, that hyperactive stress system in her extended amygdala began to calm down. The glutamate GABA balance that had been thrown off by chronic drinking slowly restored itself. But here's the catch, and this is crucial. Neuroplasticity isn't automatic. It requires the right conditions, the right interventions, and understanding how to work with your brain's natural healing processes. Now, let's be real for a moment. If recovery was just about waiting for your brain to heal itself, everyone would succeed. But there are specific neurobiological roadblocks that trip people up. The glutamate storm. During early abstinence, your brain experiences what scientists call hyperglutamatergic activity. Remember how alcohol suppressed your excitatory neurotransmitters? Well, now they're firing on all cylinders, creating anxiety, irritability, and intense cravings that can last months. The executive dysfunction. Your prefrontal cortex, even as it's healing, still has weakened control over those limbic reward and stress circuits. It's like trying to steer a ship with a broken rudder while sailing through a storm. The stress vulnerability. Here's something that surprised researchers. Stress doesn't just trigger relapse. It literally reactivates those old addiction pathways through corticotropin-releasing factor and dynorphin signaling. One stressful day can potentially undo weeks of progress. So how do we work with these challenges instead of against them? This is where neuroscience gets really exciting. We now know exactly which interventions can accelerate and optimize brain healing. Medication as neural support. Take acamprosate, for example. It doesn't just reduce cravings, it actually modulates that hyperactive glutamate system we talked about. It's like giving your overexcited brain a gentle, calm-down signal while your natural balance restores itself. Naltrexone works differently. It blocks those opioid receptors, reducing alcohol's rewarding effects. Think of it as temporarily disconnecting the reward highway while you build new, healthier neural pathways. Cognitive behavioral therapy, rewiring through practice. But here's where it gets really cool. CBT isn't just talk therapy, it's literally brain training. Neuroimaging shows that CBT strengthens dorsolateral prefrontal cortex activity. Every time you practice identifying triggers, challenging thoughts, and using coping strategies, you're building stronger neural pathways for self-control. Mindfulness, the attention revolution. And mindfulness, it's like upgrading your brain's operating system. Studies show it increases gray matter density in areas crucial for impulse control and reduces activation in those reward regions that scream for alcohol. It's teaching your brain to observe cravings without being controlled by them. The exercise factor. Here's something that might surprise you. Regular exercise might be one of the most powerful neuroplasticity enhancers we have. It increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, promotes neurogenesis, and literally helps your brain grow new connections faster. But wait, there's more. The future of addiction treatment isn't one size fits all. It's precision medicine based on your unique brain. Remember how I mentioned individual differences? Well, your genetics actually predict which treatments will work best for you. If you have certain dopamine receptor variants, you might respond better to medications that enhance dopamine signaling. If you have specific GABA receptor polymorphisms, different approaches might be more effective. The stress versus reward. Phenotype. Here's a game changer. Researchers have identified that some people drink primarily for reward, the party drinkers, while others drink primarily for relief, the stress drinkers. Guess what? They need completely different treatment approaches. Reward drinkers respond better to naltrexone and interventions targeting the dopamine system. Relief drinkers, they benefit more from acamprosate and stress management techniques. Real-time brain monitoring. The cutting edge, real-time neurofeedback. Imagine being able to see your brain activity live and learn to control those craving circuits in real time. It sounds like science fiction, but it's happening right now in research labs and will soon be available clinically. But here's something that might surprise you about recovery. It's not just individual. Your brain is inherently social, and social connections literally change your neural chemistry. When Sarah joined a support group, something magical happened in her brain. Social bonding released oxytocin and activated reward circuits in healthy ways. The shared stories and mutual support didn't just feel good. They were rewiring her brain's attachment and meaning-making systems. Mutual aid groups like AA work partly because they provide what neuroscientists call social reward, activating those same dopamine pathways that alcohol once hijacked, but in positive, recovery-supporting ways. And speaking of surprising discoveries, spirituality and recovery aren't just connected emotionally, they're connected neurologically. Brain imaging shows that spiritual experiences activate the nucleus accumbens, the same reward area affected by addiction, but in healthy, sustainable ways. Whether it's traditional religion, connection with nature, or personal meaning, making spiritual practices engage neural networks that support emotional regulation, stress resilience, and motivation for recovery. So what does the recovery timeline actually look like from a neuroscience perspective? Weeks 1 through 4. Your neurotransmitter systems are rebalancing. This is often the hardest part. Glutamate storms, intense cravings, sleep disruption. But neuroplasticity is already beginning. Months 2 to 6. Executive function starts returning. That prefrontal cortex is coming back online. Decision-making improves. Impulse control strengthens. Months 6 to 12. Deeper structural changes. Gray matter volume increases. Neural connectivity improves. Many cognitive functions reach normal levels. Beyond 12 months, continued optimization. Your brain continues adapting and strengthening recovery-supporting pathways. But remember, this isn't passive. It requires active engagement with recovery practices that promote neuroplasticity. Let's be honest about the challenges. Even with all this knowledge, there are still gaps between what neuroscience has discovered and what's available clinically. Most treatment programs don't yet incorporate personalized medicine approaches. Many people don't have access to the most effective interventions, and we're still learning about individual differences in neuroplasticity and recovery. But the field is evolving rapidly. Digital therapeutics, telemedicine, and precision medicine approaches are making these neuroscience-based treatments more accessible every year. So what does this mean for you? Whether you're struggling with addiction yourself, supporting someone who is, or just fascinated by the brain's incredible capacity for healing, here are the key takeaways. Recovery isn't just possible. It's neurobiologically inevitable if you provide your brain with the right conditions. Your brain wants to heal. It's designed to adapt and recover. The most effective approaches combine medication, behavioral therapy, social support, and lifestyle changes that promote neuroplasticity. It's not about willpower. It's about working intelligently with your brain's natural healing processes. And remember, everyone's brain is different. What works for one person might not work for another. The future of addiction treatment is personalized, precision medicine based on your unique neurobiological profile. Sarah's story: she's been in recovery for 3 years now. Her brain has not only healed, but has developed new strengths. She uses mindfulness daily, exercises regularly, stays connected to her support community, and takes medication that supports her brain chemistry. Most importantly, she understands that recovery isn't just about stopping drinking. It's about optimizing her brain for a fulfilling life. Your brain is incredibly resilient and plastic. With the right knowledge and tools, recovery isn't just possible. It's your brain's natural desire to return to health and balance. The science of recovery is giving us hope, precision, and most importantly, real solutions that work. If this video opened your eyes to the incredible neuroscience of recovery, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that bridges cutting-edge science with practical hope. And remember, your brain's capacity for healing might be the most amazing thing you never knew you had.